Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Four Trained Savages podcast, episode number 214. My name is Rob. Tyler's on the other end of the Zoom room as always. Tyler, today is August 1st.
Let's
Yesterday
go.
was the trade deadline on July 31st.
Feels like fall a little bit.
It's getting back with this weather because we just had a
Crazy
terrible
hot
humidity.
week.
We were just talking about it before. This week was really hot, and yeah, it's a little crisper today. But it looks like the Yankees after this trade deadline are gearing up for fall October weather
Yeah.
because I, in recent memory, or
I haven't
just
seen a deadline like this, dude.
the amount of activity for the Yankees was. Oh, it was
Surprising.
it was a lot, and yes, it was surprising, and we were chatting a little bit before we started recording.
I was proud, dude.
I would not be shocked in the slightest that this was a thing where Cashman was like, okay, he hears the noise, he hears the same conversation, and he's saying to himself, I'm going to basically revamp a big portion of this roster, and you have to see that the fans and the rest of baseball has to see that I'm doing this, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that I didn't go
He
out
said,
there and
"Let
apply.
me cook. Let me cook."
Let me cook. So I tweeted it out from our account today, and I think this is the sentiment that I will hold for the rest of the season is Cashman a had a good deadline and did things that was necessary for him to do. We have to see if those moves pan out. But for all the critics and all of the harsh the harsh truths that we say about what some of the moves, I think it's silenced for the time being, and
Yep.
we have to see how the rest of the season pans out. But he went out there and got relievers. He went out there and dropped some, I would call it dead weight from this team, and sending Peraz out and getting international money and getting a prospect back in return. He went
That's
out and got
crazy that he even got a prospect in return because
he
he was gonna be DFA'd if not, dude.
he went out and got a third baseman. He went out and got some more utility players that can play some quality baseball. And he got himself a backup shortstop. That I didn't think they were going to do
Bro,
that.
that was like a here. I'll also throw a little this in there to
So
to fans like us.
so I my
Crazy
one
deadline,
guess that
dude.
I thought they were going to do that I'm a little like
I was
somewhat just
surprised they didn't get a
concerned
starter.
was a starter is a good
Hmm.
point, but I also thought, especially with the JC Escara move, sending him down, we were saying I thought they could have gone out and gotten a catcher, but we're gonna see how they navigate that with Rice and Austin Wells
Yeah.
because right now that Ben Rice is catching, he is
Mhm.
the catcher and DH,
Leadoff
and we'll see.
catcher yesterday, Rob.
So, but all in all, this team made necessary moves because, and we had been saying it the last time we recorded was about 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, and we were saying that this bullpen was in such a flux and such a bad spot that
The whole bullpen was
if they
bad.
didn't make any moves, it would be really just astonishing
It'd
because
be
they just need arms.
2023, like punting on the season type of thing, where it's
So
like we don't believe in any of this.
they're not punting on the season, and
Hmm.
they got
They're
some
going in on the season, my
quality
friend.
arms and really good players uh,
I
to
mean,
hopefully help with this team.
nuts, Rob. I mean, they added Ryan McMahon, Ahmed Rosario, Austin Slater, Jose Caballero. That's four position players. Like, no way could you have convinced me they were gonna have a super utility bench and upgrade at third base. And then obviously we said no starter, but David Bednar, very high leverage reliever. Camilo Duvall, who I was not gonna act like I was super into his high leverage innings in San Francisco, but seems to also be nasty. And then Jake Bird to kind of give you something um, in the middle of the game, I feel like. But what did I say? Four position players, three pitchers, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all going to be on the team after this year, minus Rosario and Slater too. So this is kind of an outlook on next year too. You're looking at some pieces that are going to be on this team. Everyone's with control, so at least the arms. And McMahon
Yeah.
and Caballero is like the only guy that's going to put on a little pressure on Volpe, hopefully. And he's got like 4 years of control or something. So 34 bags this year too.
That's
Someone to run.
speed.
Yeah.
And
Volpe don't steal much anymore,
with
just
with
Jason. So
with those moves, just a little housekeeping there is JC Escarra, as I mentioned, got sent down. Ian Hamilton and Yeri De Los Santos both optioned to AAA. And we also didn't mention Tyler the last time that we recorded. Aaron Judge was not on the injured list, so we'll wait to get
Oh
into that
yeah,
because it's trade talk for now, and it seems like Aaron Judge, by what Aaron Boone says, will
we'll
be
see him
back
in
after
4 days anyway. Yeah.
that 10-day period. I have some thoughts on it, but we'll wait to talk about that. Also, they sent Carlos Carrasco to Atlanta, so that was a move that also transpired since we last recorded. But I think the two ones that uh, Bednar was a the two moves that I think are the biggest ones for this team is Bednar and McMahon.
Hmm.
Just I
For
think
sure.
that getting the third baseman and getting a back end of the bullpen piece, especially now with Luke Weaver struggling, Devin
And
Williams
Bednar's
being
been around, bro.
Devin
I love
Williams
that.
being better, but also doesn't give you the utmost confidence. But now they bring in Bednar, who has is having a really good season with the Pirates. Also has, I think, 17 saves on the season. But
Hmm. He's an
That
all-star.
Boone is already saying that he will keep Devin Williams in that closer role. But as we've known with this season, I think it's a
He'll pivot if he
cor-
needs to. I'm
correct,
confident in
yeah,
that. Yeah.
correct statement to say that it's not like you're
Doval could
giving
literally
that.
close too. I mean, there
Um,
you have four guys that can pitch the ninth inning, it feels like.
so this Yankees team making the moves for Bednar, making the move for Duvall, making the move for Bird. I said it at the top of the episode that this Yankees bullpen was in such a bad position
Hmm.
with just underperforming arms and a lack of arms due to injury that they needed to do something and be aggressive, like be very aggressive at the deadline.
And
And
they
that's what
flipped the
Cashman
bullpen on its
was.
head, dude.
And they really revamped this pen. And even for as much as the Brian Cashman critics want to talk about his mistakes, this is a time that you have to give him credit. And clearly we have to see how they play out and how
Yeah,
they perform. But in the for the time being, he did the right thing. So with this bullpen.
for sure. And I think it's cool that they aren't really middle of the pack relievers for the most part. These are some guys that can pitch some high leverage innings. And at the end of the day, too, Rob, you kind of rattle off Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, Jake Bird, Bednar, all these guys that are going to kind of fit into the pen. I'm pumped to also get Fernando Cruz back, who was disgusting and is, I think, just as the same caliber as some of these dudes we just named. And then I know Yankee fans aren't necessarily thrilled with him all the time, but Mark Leiter has really had some good little spurts for the Yanks. And then, dude, I mean, Tim Hill is just consistently very good. So you're talking, they really have seven guys that you could potentially feel very confident in at any point in the game come 4 weeks from now. Like, it's the deepest team we've looked at in a while, Rob, on paper, currently healthy. Um, so
Deep
I'm happy with
deep
that.
deep team as a whole or deep.
Everything, yeah, deep team for sure. I don't think. Can
I
you rattle
I
me off a
really have
bench
to
that they've had like
like,
this?
yes, on paper I can say that, but I'm not. We really have to see how the rest of these teams, because honestly, Tyler, like, these moves are good, but to me, looking at a lot of these players, like, we have to see how they perform. I
Well,
would
that's
say
how.
that
Yeah, that's
I know, but I'm not. I wouldn't say that. Yes, there are a lot of options, but that doesn't necessarily translate to depth that then performs, because
they
I
have
was
depth. That's what it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and that's
can't say they're
fine.
going to
But
perform
I would
until they
say it's
play.
it's it's depth in the sense of, like, a lot of, I would say, mediocre baseball players that
That's
we have to
crazy.
see. You
Who's
I would say
mediocre?
that Ryan McMahon is a bit of a mediocre baseball player.
I mean, bro, you simply don't get to have a superstar at every
No,
position. I
and
mean,
that's
who
and that's fine. And that's
he
fine. But now they've lost their superstar guy. And I'm not
we can
saying that.
let's should we jump into the Judge stuff then? Because I mean, he'll be here in 4 days.
No, I'll talk about the McMahon move first. I
Okay.
Yes, in terms of depth, I think that is a totally fair point to say that you're excited for this team and what they did. Let's also remind ourselves that they're now I think what is it now? They're 2.5 up in the wild card now with the Red Sox on their heels, so that is not safe. So what they did this trade deadline to acquire players and do this was completely necessary for where they are, and they're clearly going in to want to
Hmm.
perform. So going back to McMahon, I think that the move was good. I think that it's something that they clearly needed a player to
It's
play
like the
third base.
safest move you can get.
Yes.
Good
And
defense, lefty. It's
16 homers
has
on
some
the year,
pop, walks.
39 RBIs, 227 average, 735, 734 OPS.
Hmm.
Totally fine with it. Totally cool. I think that they're looking for some upside, and he certainly has control. I think, I want to say he has, what is it, three
It's
more
this
years
year,
on his
and
deal.
yeah, it's at least it's next year. It might be the year after too. It's either 2.5 or 1.5.
So yeah, unrestricted free agent in 2028. So I like the McMahon move from the point of view that they just needed to put someone at that position. I think that they needed to put a
And
player
it's a
that can.
good glove there.
It's a
That's
good glove. It's a good glove. I'd like to. We just need to watch him hit on a day-to-day basis before I can make like a statement that how he's going to play. I
yeah. I
I
mean,
know
through
people are
six
joking
games,
about
he's one dotting.
yeah. So we got to
Crazy.
we'll see how it goes. I I think it was Girardi on the broadcast and Kay were talking about it that people were making a lot of they were saying a lot about his splits from Colorado and
Hmm.
other ballparks and how they are not kind to him. I have to find the exact splits. They obviously changed now
Yeah,
that he's with the Yankees.
they're not
But
good at all.
they were
As
making the
most
point
Colorado.
that it be something where the elements actually where everyone says, "Oh, it helps the bat that he's there and he should be having better numbers." And I think
Hmm.
I want to be fair to him in saying that Kay and Girardi were making the point on the broadcast when he first got traded over that it could actually do the reverse of where he then gets in a more normal element where he's playing in
Yeah.
the Bronx, that it could work in his favor. So
Boone did a good job explaining that on the John Boy podcast, where he was like, in my experience, when you leave there, you start to see breaking balls like different than how you
yeah,
would when you're traveling to and from Colorado. And I'm like, all right, that kind of actually makes some sense in my
yes.
head.
So I think that for
So it
what
could
the
help
Yankees
him.
needed, this is something that can certainly work. Um, and then the rest of the moves, I think the Caballero move was out of left field of thinking
Icing on
that
the cake
why
for
they
me,
would do
though.
it. But yeah, I would agree that it's icing on the cake. And I think that with the way that Volt, like he continued it in the Rays series, he has been hitting a lot better in this last week, which I'm going to
Hmm.
give him credit for. But the defense is just, you can tell that he's wearing it a little bit with the way that
Yeah,
the
for
fans are
sure.
booing him.
It's
And
scary, dude. I have a pit in my stomach when, like, are you ever? I don't look away when a ball's hit to short anymore.
well,
Routine to grounder to jazz. I'm not necessarily watching that play the whole way through.
I tweeted this out yesterday that we're now in an era of the team, or we're now at a point with the team where Anthony Volpe can be defensively replaced late in games.
It's
And
just expendable at some point. Sent
yes,
down with Caballero
yeah.
on the team, like anything.
So he's in a good spot where he's hitting, and he has to certainly keep that up because now he has competition. And I
Hmm.
think the Yankees certainly did that on purpose to say, you're hitting better now, and they love to see that. He's been hitting some balls out of the ballpark. But that move for Caballero was just such a I want to say like come
It
to
was a
Jesus.
needed
It
move
was like a come to
with.
Jesus moment for the Yankees, and just like they're looking at the facts that we can't trust his fielding this year or however long it may be. We need to have a shortstop in here that we can have more confidence in fielding
Hmm.
and also put some pressure on the Volpe. And I was very happy to see that they're doing that because it always comes back to accountability with what the team is doing. And
Yep.
that to me is an accountability move.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Rob, too, I think they're looking at it where if they need to move off of Volpe or Volpe just bottom line can't get starters reps in the postseason as a shortstop, I think you insert Caballero there, um, assuming Jazz at second, McMahon at third, and Goldie at first, you're obviously better defensive first baseman. I think they look at that and go, yeah, this should be a pretty good infield defensively. McMahon, Jose, Jazz, Goldie. Like I
Hmm.
know Goldie hasn't wowed anyone, but he's not hurting you at first base. No one's
Yeah.
hurting you across the infield there. Volpe right now currently is constantly hurting us and his pitchers.
Yeah. So I really like that move. And then we spoke about the pen. We spoke about Peraza actually getting sent to the Angels, so that is no longer a talking point on this podcast or for Yankee fans. I think they got
Is that where Squid went to, or whatever his name was?
Wilburson. No, I mean, or yes, I think when he's now, excuse me, Squid Velasquez is now in the minors with the Yankees, but they don't really have a spot for him, and the bat is clearly not there, so they couldn't
Yeah,
really
no.
give him competition with Volpe.
He'll take the same
Um,
path the way
so
Peraza did,
Peraza is now
or is.
with the Angels, and they got Wilburson de Pena and international money for him. So Yankees make a lot of moves at the deadline, and I will say that I'm happy with what they did, and we just have to see how the rest of the season now pans out.
Yeah.
The big thing, and it's still a concern to me, and just the reason why I am not as bullish on this team and very just I have my concerns is now with Judge being put on the IL with the flexor strain. He officially avoided the UCL tear. And now it comes back to a log jam with this team. And I just don't know how they're going to end up putting these pieces around the diamond. And I made this point
I
to
don't think
you.
Stanton's playing the outfield, dude. I think he's just not. I don't think he's
Yeah.
a player. I think he's a non-factor.
And that to me
It
is
sucks.
is an issue. And I mean, here's the problem there. Like, it's not as if Giancarlo Stanton is not hitting because he's hitting
No, he's
very,
hitting
very well.
very well. Yeah.
So that 855 OPS this year, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs.
You want that in your lineup.
That's what you need in your lineup. So this was a point that I made to you with, and I think you also texted me this, that you don't think Judge should or maybe will or should play the field this year for the remainder of the year. Maybe what
And
was your feeling on that?
wh- there's so many feelings to have, Rob, because there's one of two things. Like, yeah, I don't like sitting back. I'm like, nah, I don't think Judge should play the field because what does that look like? I guess I'm just a fear of the unknown at this point with that because
Mm-hmm.
if he can play the field with a 60% arm, absolutely not. You shouldn't be playing the field. But if you can not throw for 21 days and then go play the field September 1st, your team's best lineup is with Giancarlo Stanton DHing, and that is just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But when I also reserve myself, and I do look at the team with Stanton as a pinch hitter or as a DH. I still think they're a very good offensive team without Stanton. But yeah, your best lineup involves Aaron Judge playing right field. But I don't know if that'll happen. I really don't.
So then that becomes
I do believe
likely.
he's going to hit the rest of the year, though. That is not a
Yeah.
worry for me in the slightest.
So likely Cody is playing right. Trent is playing center, and Jason Dominguez is playing left. And I think that that's what it is. And I just think that
And
there's
part
now
of
going.
me likes that, honestly, dude. I hate to say that, but you're
No,
you're
that
very good defensively everywhere, assuming your shortstop is good on a day.
I,
You
I
can't
mean,
really debate that. There's not
well,
much to.
Jason Dominguez left field. I'm just gonna have to say that
But yes,
he made
Rob,
a good
you
catch
don't.
yesterday,
I
but
know, but he's not like you don't get a Gold Glover in every position. When you're looking at left field and maybe a your middle infielder having the yips as your bad defensive team, like yeah, you are. I think it's more of the mental miscues that
there
are
are a
bad.
lot of mental miscues and times
Yeah.
where Jason Dominguez looks like a chicken with his head cut off in left field, and you
Yes,
can't debate that.
I
So when
agree,
you say,
Rob.
but you can't say
It's a good
that.
defensive team though. With Belly and Trent Grisham in the outfield and
Yes,
the circle of your infield, it's a good defensive
but here's
team.
the thing: when your captain or
It
sorry,
should be
not
actually. It's
captain,
not currently a
not
good defensive team. Let me
not
correct
captain,
myself.
not captain. When your leader of the infield, which is designated as your shortstop, is not good.
Yes. I'm assuming
I
that
think that
will
I
improve.
cannot define a team as a good defensive team.
I'm in lockstep with you there. We are in total
So then how
100%
can you
agreement.
say that it's a good defensive team?
I
Is
guess I'm
my
just
is
no,
my question.
no, I just corrected myself. I said they're not currently a good defensive team.
But
While you were saying,
they
but
could
they
evolve.
should. I think in by the time September rolls around in October, like guys are playing, I don't think they're going to put, if Volpe has the yips come the playoffs, like he's not going to start at short. I just
Okay.
don't think so.
Okay. That's fair in my head. That's where like how are they going to get there? And clearly we have
Yeah.
to talk about how they just have to make the playoffs at this point because it's a lot of log jam.
And I
And
think they're
like
going to want to see Caballero start, dude, honestly. He's got
yeah.
30, he could steal 65 bags
So
this year.
so if you're telling me though, like if Jason's playing left, I'll still have my concerns, but he has to be playing left and just based on the structure of the lineup and now having Stanton and
Wait,
Judge.
should Jason play right? Would that be a thing or no? Because you'd prefer to have Belly and Trent in left and
I
center
mean, I
and
think
Jason
that
in right if Judge is out for the rest of the year in the outfield. So we just don't know, honestly.
what I would like them to do is, but they're never going to do it, would be like
Jason should
put him
just
in
DH.
center or put him in center because that's where he
Yeah.
started as, but they're not going to do that with
Not
Trent.
this year, yeah. They got too many, like
So
Trent and Belly are just too good in the outfield.
so yes, going back to my point, as currently constructed, I
We
do
spiraled.
when your shortstop looks the way he is, I just can't confidently say that you're a
Currently, they're not a
good.
good defensive team. They've
But
not earned that in any way.
if Volpe one gets his shit together and plays a better shortstop, yes, that can correct itself. Or
Or Volpe's so bad that Caballero replaces him. I still think they're a good defensive team there.
okay, that I will
That's
give
what
you.
I'm saying.
That I will give you. But it will they have their come to Jesus moment there and be like
Bro,
Volpe
I'd be
shouldn't be playing?
shocked if they did. Like, if this continues at the rate it's continuing, he'll have 30 errors by the end of the
Yeah.
season, bro. It's like every night at this point. So,
Yeah, that's what they're gonna have to that's what they're gonna have to be confronted with. And
and you know, when push came to shove, when IKF was the shortstop and we screamed about his errors all year, in the playoffs, they started Peraza, dude. You know?
I
So,
would hope
like,
they do it earlier though.
exactly. Yeah, we hope they've learned from their mistake. But that's what I'm saying. I can't see them putting out straight liabilities. Dude, they left Verdugo's worst bat ever. Let it rot in left field all year last year into the World Series because they were just like, no, we don't want Jason's ass out there or Trent.
So we're gonna have to see. But I think this Judge injury, even though they're saying that he's
You
going
seem
to
to be
be,
a little more worried than me about this.
I
What do you
am.
think? What is your worst case? Like, is it just about Stanton's
Well,
bat being removed from the lineup? Is that
well, that
primarily it? Because that is a big deal. It's a big deal for sure.
I think my primary concern is that they will not one have the best pop. My concern with the Judge injury, even if he is luckily going to be back in DHing, which you of course want the best player in baseball
Yep.
DHing. I think that it does two things. It one doesn't give you your best possible defensive outfield. I think that
Well,
is
is your outfield better without Judge? That's kind of what I'm asking. I think you're not. I don't think you're worse with Belly and Trent out there every day. That's what I'm getting at there too. Your best offensive lineup is not on the baseball field though, for sure, ever.
but
But
if
I
it,
think
if you're telling me
defensively, you're
that it's
pretty close. You're not losing.
but if you're telling me Belly's playing left, Trent in center, given the way he's hitting as well, and Judge playing right, that would be my ideal thing, probably.
Yes, but then there is no Jason Dominguez. So rolling back to your point, there's a logjam, you know? So, I mean,
So
it just
so
depends what you want, bro. It's like, do you want Trent's just been good like all year. It's like,
so
it's
you can't
really,
deny it. I can't
yeah,
deny it. Like, yes, months ago I would have said give Jason time, but Trent's bat, when you hit, you are gonna be given a spot. So
yeah. Jason's
my
also
the
good.
re
It's just he's not as good defensively.
my rooted concern, the concern with Judge being out, even if he's going to come back in DH, in my brain, is I
Hmm.
think that your defense takes a step back in the outfield because he's not playing in the outfield. And then also because now he has to DH. And then you're like you said, you're taking the possibility of Giancarlo Stanton out of the lineup. You're taking the possibility of Ben Rice out of the lineup, who are
Hmm.
both hitting very well this year. And yes, even though luckily
That's
Judge
when
will
Rice
be
like actually will get more catcher reps
yeah,
too.
well, the fact that you will have then like yes, you want Judge in that lineup, but it's like damn it sucks that now you're going to have one of the other guys take a back seat. The dream world that just happens by September and October is that Judge's arm is okay and he can play the
Yeah.
field, but that's a
And
huge concern.
they have maintained that, dude. That, like he's gonna throw.
Hopefully.
So like, but I'm equally as scared as you, where I'm like, dude, should you throw? Like, you
Yeah.
know? But in my head, I'm like, if he comes back and he actually has a torn UCL after playing right field in 3 weeks, he can still hit for us the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So they might try it if like, because for all we know, bro, maybe he gets this surgery in the offseason regardless. You know, like, I don't know. So
I
maybe
wouldn't be surprised if there is just
maybe
like a lot of
because if he can hit no matter what, and all they have to do is try it because he's getting the procedure, November 1st anyway. But again, we've no, I don't know. Are they allowed to? I don't know. What can they say about injuries? What are they allowed to say and
a
not say?
lineup
Like,
with
dude, this is what happens. Remember when Trevorino or Trevi couldn't throw out anyone
yeah.
last year or whatever? And when we were like, dude, he's hurt. Like he's throwing the ball 78 miles an hour to second base. And they're like, nah, he's fine. And then they're like, oh yeah, the sheath is torn off his wrist. Actually, he's out for the rest of the year. They're like, okay, you know.
So it's just that to me is because it just creates more of a logjam. And
I just
yes,
think it removes Stan. I don't think it makes like a defensive logjam or anything, honestly. I
yeah.
think it just removes Stan and makes him a straight up pinch hitter platoon. Not even a platoon, just a pinch
So
hitter.
I mean I guess I can say that that works for the rest of the regular season, and then if they do make the playoffs, that becomes a bigger issue in my brain.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there. I think they've like protected themselves in the right ways with who they've acquired to play guys in position, be decent defensively, and I think they're willing to like not have G's bat in the lineup because he's not playing the fucking outfield, bro. Like maybe he'll get a spot start here and there, but again, like most years, bro, we have just simply no clue what a postseason roster would look like because there's a ton of guys that could play multiple different positions. And like, bro, is there a world where your best lineup defensively and offensively for what you can get if Judge is the DH is Belly at first? Like, what does that mean? Like there are and then
See,
like
that makes it interesting too.
there's so many different ways that this could go about. Is like it's kind of exciting, but
I dread it.
yeah, it promotes anxiety for sure.
All right, let's talk about
Fear
this.
of the unknown, Rob.
Let's talk about this series as well. The Yankees take a series finally against Tampa Bay and a divisional opponent.
Lots of
For
sweating too.
first game, they lose this one with Cam Schlittler on the mound. Goes four and a third, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Yankees were able to get a couple runs in the bottom of the first, but then the offense was just not good for the majority of the game. And the Tampa Bay just uh, rolled with this one for a 4-2 win. Just another frustrating loss with a lot of opportunities for the Yankees, but
We were feeling down after this game.
yeah, that was a depressing game.
8 games over 500. What were we? Six and a half back at
Yeah.
this point.
And then
Yanks made some ground in 3 days, dude.
game two, Max Fried on the mound, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. So a solid outing for Max Fried.
This was the Volpe game, right?
Yeah. So Volpe actually homers in this game.
Does a
Had
bunch
the
of shit
error
that all cancels itself out.
had the error early, which misplayed a Jazz trying to turn two, and then spikes the throw to Goldschmidt on the potential last out of the game. And it's pretty astonishing now watching him because he is hitting, and then when he's hitting, and then it's almost as if he just takes the rug right under you of like, okay, never mind, I'm going to play like shit on the
I giveth
defensive
and I
side.
taketh away.
Yeah, so and that was like the story of this game where people, were coming away with a win 7-5, but what the hell is Volpe doing in the field? And
I think people almost love that. They're like, all right, I'm happy, but I also get to shit on Volpe. Like, Volpe's
I
been the
mean,
bearer of some shit
he
lately.
is, it's now,
Deservedly so, though, Rob. I mean, I've been on this pod and been like, well, tough shit. He's going to be our shortstop. And then I'm sitting here like, well, maybe Colorado is going to start in the playoffs.
well, that's the thing. Like, I get why people, like, in the past years of Yankees, people were harsh on Gary, people were harsh on Glaber, people were harsh on other players on this team. But
People hate defensive
there,
miscues.
there,
Yes.
there comes a point, man. I get that that you like this kid and you're rooting for him and he's from Jersey and he's Italian and blah, 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 blah. But
You could like me too.
on some level, like if you're going to make errors and do them as bad as he has been, like what 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 else? There is the element of, oh, if he plays better, he can shut everybody up.
Yeah. And again,
So
like this is what he's supposed to be good at is like defense. Like no one's even yelling about the offense. It's just like, brother, you can't be bad. You can't be really bad at both. Because then what are
also
you
too,
doing? What are you doing for me?
I don't want to hear this other garbage as well because there's people in the comments and just looking at Twitter and or X and
Of
they're
what?
like, well, the errors don't really point to the exact struggles on his defense because if you look at some advance, that's where I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
no. I mean, just watch the games.
watch the games, watch the games
I don't think an
because
error.
that's where the advanced statistics can go kick rocks.
Bye bye. Yeah. I think if I don't think errors are like a great stat necessarily, but I think if Paul Goldschmidt didn't exist, he could have 26 errors for all
Yeah.
we know. And then would you be more interested in that stat? I don't know. But Volpe's arm stinks, dude. Yeah, he gets to balls, but every time he moves the ball somewhere else and gives it to second, gives it to first, throws it to third, something bad happens, it feels like. So
Yeah.
he can get to the ball. It's just like his recent delivery of sharing the rock, Rob, has
Not good.
got him into some troubles.
Game three, Will Warren on the mound, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts. So a really solid start for Will Warren. Yankees, this game stayed at 1-0 up until the bottom of the eighth, where Grisham tied it with a home run. And this is the one where we were texting back and forth, and like the Yankees don't want to win this game. um,
Yep, that
Standing in
yeah.
the bottom of the eighth, singles in after the Grisham home run to put them up 2-1, and then Devin Williams comes in the game and gives up the home run to Lau to then the Rays go up 3-2, and then Volpe with a game tying home run makes it 3-3. So then you're like,
That
oh,
was
Volpe.
crazy because Fairbanks just made McMahon look stupid the at bat before.
Yeah. And then Weaver was in after that with a Ronda to hit a sac fly to score in Walls, and the Rays go back up 4-3, and then
Mhm.
Bellinger with a triple in the bottom of the 10th
And then
to
how do
score
you
in Grisham.
not win it there, dude?
Yes, I know. And the Yankees squandered that
Oh.
opportunity with Belly on third. But then Ryan McMahon, uh, it was the center fielder didn't even go after it, but he was able to walk it off
Mhm.
to get in Jazz Chisholm on that. So
That was Stan and
it's
Jazz that couldn't get Belly in, actually.
one of the weirdest games that you'll watch up
A
late
needed
too.
W.
Need a W. And then yesterday's game, which was kind of just shadowed by all the moves, Tyler. It was
Yeah.
like people weren't even really watching, but the Yankees got up big in the bottom of the first.
It's also a three
Or
hour
by the
freaking late rain delay, dude.
Yeah, they went up 7-0 by the bottom of the third, thanks to a Stanton home run, Rice home run, more productive at bats from Bellinger. The Rays in the top of the fourth made it 7-4, but then it stayed that way. Yankees bullpen pitched well. Loaizaga actually pitched well. De Los Santos, who then ended up getting sent down, but did his best to show why he should stay up, but it didn't matter with all the new moves. And then Marcus
Mhm.
Stroman
He'll be
actually
up
5 innings
at some
pitched,
point.
4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, six hits given up. So uh, you know, just spot start for or a start for Stroman to give him length, and then the Yankees win this series where they really needed it and kind of put the Rays back in the standings and
Three out
just
of four,
beat a
man.
divisional opponent. And then they play Miami this weekend, who is kind of in the same boat as Tampa. So you're hoping that they can,
No slouch, bro.
yeah. So
So
yeah, Yankees win the series, and now it's the month of August has a bit of a
I'm so pumped, bro, for these
interesting.
next 2 months. Like I very much am.
Why?
Also, can we
Why
just
are you so pumped? Just to watch the
be
new guys?
no, not even just that. I'm just pumped. And of course, I wish my favorite team was 7 games up in first place right now. I'm pumped to see how this unfolds. Like, genuinely,
Because
this is good
you think
for
the
baseball. I'm excited to see the Sox. I'm excited to see the Yanks go at it. Like,
you
I'm
still
excited to
think the
see
Jays are
Toronto collapse.
you still think the Jays are fraudulent?
I really don't think they're that good. I think they play a really crisp brand of baseball and have good starting pitching. I don't think their offense is that good. They don't hit home runs. I don't think their bullpen is that good. Just my
Well,
I mean, bro, they were
you could
playing
pick
at an
out you could pick
absurd
if you pick out areas of their team that are better than ours, you could do the same and go back at the Yankees.
100%. I'm what I'm getting at, what I've been hammering to you for the last 2 months, I feel like, is I think the Yankees offense is really good. And I think they have a couple of really good frontline pitchers that I got no problem facing most teams, I feel like. But the Jays just I really don't think are that good. Like I'm much more afraid of the Sox than I am of the Jays.
Well, I'll give you that just because the Red Sox own the
Like I'm
Yankees when
I'm
they
more
play them.
afraid of the Astros without Paredes and Jordan than the Jays. And well, that's trauma too, so you get some of that. But
I would agree.
Seattle, I think I'd rather not play Seattle right now than the Jays, especially after the
I
moves they made.
I could see what you're saying. I think it's just now like a war of
Screw
getting
the
there,
Jays, man.
of getting
I
there.
hate the Jays.
Man, you're
Can't have
doubling
that.
down, doubling
Yep,
down.
I'm tripling down, baby.
I'm not disrespecting them anymore. I'm just like,
Can't
okay, let's
yet.
see what they do. Three
They
and a half
did.
back
I mean,
now.
bro, they played absolutely insane for 2 months. It felt like they had the best record in baseball for a little bit. Yeah, they're only a game behind Milwaukee for the best record in baseball. Um, yeah, man, it's like we have been freaking out, deservedly so, a little bit. But at the end of the day, they're 3.5 back for the best record in the AL. So, as the great Aaron Boone once said in 2023, when it didn't work out, it's right in front of us. It is right in front of us, Rob.
Yeah, I mean I mean, frankly, they fucked up in June, and
Hard, yeah. They played
and
like shit for
and
seven
now
weeks.
they're saving face with this trade deadline or
But also,
hoping to do so.
you go out and get swept by Miami this weekend, and we're back to freaking out. So,
Real quick, our I want to do
Will
our
Warren, bro, by the way, before,
well,
sorry to interrupt you, it's
no,
just a stud.
I was gonna do. You can maybe it's foreshadowing. I was gonna do our savages of the series. I'm gonna go with Giancarlo Stanton. He had a really solid week the past week where it was really just an uggo fest for the Yanks that week. And he just continued to play pretty solid in this Tampa series, and I just wanted to shout him out. Had the home run yesterday. Also the go ahead hit that really should have been a game winning hit, but Devin Williams had other plans on the third game. So Big G is hitting really well just throughout the whole season this year. And when you have him and Ben Rice hitting the way it is, it's good to have the options. And we already talked at length about it. But 8 home runs, 23 RBIs, 270 average, 341 on base, which is the big thing to see there for Giancarlo Stanton. And then also the 855 OPS, where he's basically a platoon player,
Bro,
and he's
he's just a
hitting.
situational hitter too now, and he's so good at it.
So and when
We'll just hit it 112 to right field, no problem. One
so
hop.
and I mean we will talk about it at length that like if he can just do that for the rest of the year, and hopefully if the Yankees are making a playoffs push and they make the playoffs, then
They're
okay,
gonna
he's
find a way to
fresh.
get that bat in
And
the
and
lineup.
then they're going to find a way to have him in the lineup. So Big G's been playing really good and just areas where they need him. They're just like,
Mhm.
okay, Giancarlo, you're going to take maybe 2 to 3 days off during the week, but then we're going to put you in. And when he does play, he's making an impact. So
Yeah.
that's why I go.
And you hear, I think it's cool a lot. Like you listen on the broadcast, you find some interviews, whatever however you consume your Yankee stuff when you're bored. Is like everyone talks about Giancarlo's preparation, like as a DH, and like how locked in he is, and like how it was harder for him at the start of his career to pinch hit and do all these things, but now he's got it down to such a routine
Mhm.
where, I mean, it can be a crazy valuable to just have that at your dispense in some big leverage moments.
Yeah.
So.
Who would you get? Who would you say? I think you already said it because you've already.
Well, I did already say it. I kind of have to say too, because at the end of the day, I think Will Warren needs to be discussed, and I think Cody Bellinger you cannot discuss this series really at all without mentioning him in some capacity. So I guess I will formally give it to Belly. But in this series, Rob, three, four, five hits, 3 runs scored, 1 homer, 4 RBIs, and he's just being Belly. I mean, I think if Aaron Judge didn't exist, he'd be like everyone's favorite player, honestly. Um,
I think he's 849 OPS, which is
bro, he's
amazing.
killing it, dude. Um, 3.6 WAR on the year, I believe, too. 3.4 WAR. I mean, you just simply we couldn't have dreamt of something better from a running the bases standpoint, fundamental standpoint, defensive standpoint, utility standpoint, offensive standpoint. You couldn't have asked to have someone replace Juan and fill those shoes better or the way he's done. So
Yeah.
I don't know. This team's bad without Belly. That's what I'm getting at. So I'm gonna give it to to Cody Bellinger. I hope they give him 4 years, 120 million. Rob, I mean, genuinely, or I hope they find a way to keep him around. I don't know how you feel about that, but
No, I always hate the extension talk,
yeah,
but if I were to be comfortable with it, it would be Bellinger. I
yeah.
would extend Bellinger.
It's just he's just good defensively everywhere. I mean, can't beat that. But
Yeah.
honorable mention, Rob. Let me just throw it out there. Will Warren's been a stud. I think 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. He's doing what took Clark a couple years to do in terms of starting to pitch later in games, and I think he's one of the reasons why the Yanks didn't go out and pay crazy for a very mid starting pitcher. I think they look at Warren and go, we have no problem with this guy starting a fourth game in the playoffs if it comes to that. So I love watching Will Warren, man. And I saw a stat. If you remove like his game against the Dodgers where he gave up like 7 earned runs or 8, and then that one against Atlanta where he gave up like 7 or 8 earned runs as well. He's got like a 3 flat ERA for the year. So butter
Mhm.
knife, but I'm proud of Will Warren, man. That's what I'm getting at. So that's
Also,
that's
did you
my
see
app.
a side note? I just was scrolling real quick, looking at Yankee news. Did you see how like the MLB on Fox troll or not troll, but they mistakenly said the Red
Fucked
Sox
up with the
traded
Joe
for.
Ryan. Yeah,
I loved
that
that.
was
That was so funny.
crazy. That
Let's
was
do our
crazy.
Savage Slump Watch.
They stink.
I'm gonna go with Jazz Chisholm in this series. 2 for 15 with 7 strikeouts. So a little bit of a
Mhm.
struggle series for Jazz, but all things together, I mean, he's still been good this year. Had a bit of some here and there, having some defensive miscues as well, which I'm not a big fan of, but I'm not hitting the panic button on Jazz. But I just think it was important to acknowledge
Yep.
a little bit of a struggle series.
Man, this guy hit a couple homers this series, a pretty big one too, but I think it's got to go to Volpe. You commit 3 errors. When you hit a couple homers, you're kind of, and then you do the errors. I mean, it's a kind of,
He's just staying where he is now. He's
yeah,
just
we're
like
just, what are we doing here? We're going up, we're going down. So, I'm gonna give it to Volpe. Um, at this point, to be honest, don't really give a shit what you do at the plate. Anything is better than Peraza. So, McMahon has kind of replaced that bat, but you cannot be a hole defensively. So, Volpe.
fair, fair. So the Yankees play the Marlins this weekend, and then they head to Texas. So a little bit of a road trip, a little bit going down south, and then they'll come back to the stadium to play Houston, which of course just traded for Carlos Correa, so that pisses me off. Hopefully we
That's
don't.
it. Dude, what a sick deadline this was, honestly. I
It was
wish Joe Ryan got traded, but it's
not to
fun to be a
Boston,
part.
not to
It was fun to
Boston.
watch of. Yeah, not to Boston, the
So
National League.
also, like we talked about the standings right now, the Yankees are 3.5 back from Toronto wild
Those
card.
Texas games might be
By
big, dude.
by wild card standings, Yankees are plus 2.5, and Red Sox are a game and a half behind that at +1, and then Seattle and Texas, like yeah, exactly. Texas is hot on the heels too, so they're playing motivated once they start next week. So
We're winning the division,
it's
brother.
it's I don't
He's
know.
like, shut up, Tyler.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it, man. I can't confidently say
All
that.
right.
But
I'll just text you when we're half a game back and go, look at the standings, Rob.
I will
He's like, oh,
gladly
yep.
accept my defeat in that stretch. But I think that this team is
I think they're
I would say
capable.
if I'm making on August 1st right now, I think they're making the playoffs. I don't know
As,
where it will
yep,
be within the wild card standings.
I agree.
Because now, you know what has me scared, dude? Boston is rolling with these young kids, man.
No,
And
Boston's good, bro. I 100% agree with that.
so Yankees got their work cut out, but the good thing and the big takeaway from this episode is they they made moves at the deadline and they weren't just standing pat. And that is something to be happy for as a Yankee fan. And now we just have to see it translate, hopefully, to a better ball club. And hoping to see more accountability. Like if Volpe continues to play like shit on the defensive side of the ball, they have other guys to step in there and
Yeah.
play. And now, especially with this bullpen too, hopefully we'll see some better bullpen outings. So I don't know. All things considered, you got to be happy with this deadline as a Yankee fan.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Also, something we didn't really know is Cash didn't give up any top prospect. Anyone most of you guys care about? I mean, you can say
I
the catcher was a
I'm I think that is a good point, but I do like remember the Gallo trade? They did this. We had the same conversation. You really don't know until you know. Like you don't
for
know until
sure. I'm
stuff
saying,
pans
but
out.
the guys that are on your MLB horizon that are killing it and you project to play for you soon and pitch, you didn't give up a single piece. Like LaGrange can come up this year and pitch. Like if Schlitter needs to get moved somewhere, Lombard can very well compete for the your shortstop job next year. Spencer Jones will probably be an outfield option. Like you didn't give up something you currently value. You
I
gave up what
suppose.
you value least compared to what these other GMs gave up, dude. I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm going, yeah, if we're going off numbers wise and rankings, Cash
That's
didn't pay
fair.
as much as everyone else paid.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I talk shit about Cash as much as I possibly can when it's warranted. The roster was an absolute clusterfuck up until this point. It still may be, but at least they have options now
time will
in the
tell.
pen.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
So thank you everyone for joining us. 214, episode 214. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a rate and review, leave us a comment in the YouTube video, as well as follow us on our social channels on X, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere there. Really appreciate everyone for listening. Let's hope to see these in this next week and throughout the rest of the season. Hope to see these new additions for the Yankees pan out, man. We got a tight postseason race, and it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. So thank you guys for tuning in for episode 214. We'll catch you at 215. Peace.